everyone. Hola. So my name's Jessica Mason. I'm a fairly new member to the Beaches Rotaract. After watching the speeches last week, I thought to myself, maybe I needed to up my game a little bit, and I started looking into getting one of those T-Rex inflatable costumes. Thought about getting like a scrapbook and sharing my childhood photos, and I realized I wasn't as cute as Sean, so I said, forget it. I'm just going to talk and have like 3 slides. Is that okay with you guys?
Yeah.
All right. So I wanted to speak to you today about a few important lessons that I've learned in my career, and some of those things, among many other things, I learned to get out of my own way. I learned to speak up. I negotiated from a place of power instead of fear. I owned my success, and then most importantly, I got the compensation that I deserve. So let me start at the beginning. All right, you guys are already liking it. All right, so I started my career at 21 years old with a bachelor's in accounting, and I was still working through full-time graduate school. I knew how to work hard, I knew how to be a good student, so I just thought if I studied hard and kept my head down, then I would just be rewarded with all the raises and promotions, right? So it took me some time to start figuring this out, but I did begin to notice when I first started my internship going into my first staff job that a male colleague actually started out with a higher starting salary than I did, and we came from the same school and had the same years of experience. So did I speak up then? No, I just kept my mouth shut and got to work. Didn't even ask. Now, as a woman speaking about my own personal experiences, I don't want this topic to divide the genders in the room. There may be ladies here that do really well negotiating their salaries, and there may be men in this room that have trouble speaking up about their accomplishments. But generally, we've all heard that men are more likely to be able to apply for a job that they may meet only 50% of requirements, and us ladies, we wait till 90 to 100% of those requirements. A man is more likely to think about those monetary benefits and negotiate as such, and women are more likely to think of non-monetary benefits like flexible time off and company culture. So a man may be more confident accepting what he's done and the credit and the accomplishments, and then women are more comfortable advocating for the team, way more before they do it themselves. So it wasn't until many, many years later that I started realizing I fell into a trap. I didn't apply for jobs that I couldn't 100% do. I didn't negotiate my salary, and I just accepted whatever lowball offer they gave me. I was understanding, accommodating, and a good team player. So we've all done it, right? It was a team effort. I couldn't have done it without the team. Now this is all well and good, but it was getting me nowhere. So I just kept changing jobs, taking lateral moves, chasing after this position and title, and looking for a place to grow, and I wasn't. So people on my team would be promoted, and they would go after those promotions, and I would just take on more of their work, hoping that my boss would notice how hard I was working. So why was it that I was continually underpaid and undervalued? Was it because I was a woman? No, because there's a lot of women in business that rake in huge salaries. So what was the difference that these women or men had and knew that I didn't know? So there was something that they got. They knew their value. So what were they doing that I wasn't? So I finally decided I needed some help and some guidance. So I couldn't be the only one experiencing this in life. So after some research, I found a book that really had a title that spoke to me, and I have it right here as well. It's by Mika Brzezinski, if you know her from watching Morning Joe, and it's called Know Your Value, Women, Money, and Getting What You're Worth. And then it had hit me. I was feeling this way because I was undervalued. I was putting value into my work and not receiving the financial benefits in return. And this was beyond just getting that good job from my boss. This was a financial situation, and it was not something I'd personally thought a lot about. Yes, I am a CPA, but I was putting a lot more work into the company's bottom line and not my own. So I wanted to share with you 3 things that I learned. First, get out of your own way. Second, you need to learn how to act. It's going a little in the wrong order. I'll just go through it. Learn how to act. And third, you need to learn the tactical maneuvers to get what you want. So all of these things were extremely out of my comfort zone. However, by learning those who failed and succeeded before me, I began to take some steps. So what does getting out of your own way mean? It meant that I needed to ask for what I deserved. The idea of asking for a raise or promotion, I felt like I would rather volunteer for a root canal. How many of you feel like this right now? Okay, a few. All right, so we have some common experience. My colleagues asked for raises and promotions, and I couldn't even feel like I could ask them how they did it. So what was the difference? Was it nature? Was it nurture? It goes back to what I thought in the beginning of my career, that if I was deserving, then my boss would just notice. I never thought to ask. I never thought I should actually advocate for myself and say something. Feeling lucky that I had the opportunity to be there, that I shouldn't even negotiate. I just expected for someone else to recognize my performance and reward me accordingly. However, I began realizing that sitting around waiting was getting me nowhere, and I had to own my own success because if I didn't look out for myself, nobody else would. Next, I needed to learn how to act. Now, this may come as a shock to you guys, but I won Best Manners Superlative my 8th grade year. I believe that women in this room can relate to growing up and you are rewarded for being nice and sweet and accommodating. Women seem to be more feeling that you can be accommodating than being accommodated. So that's a great quote from Elizabeth Warren that sums it up for me. Someone needs to do this. Someone needs to mop this floor. Okay, hand me the mop. So I couldn't relate to this anymore. However, if someone came by and asked me who mopped the floor, I probably would have said it was a team effort. Learning to break myself of that habit was going to be a tough one. But these manners, I needed to break them, and I needed to be genuine to myself and learn to work with the facts. First, know your contributions and your market value. Ask your friends and colleagues what they make. Stop making money a taboo topic. It's so easy to do your research. Go to Glassdoor, know exactly what you should be making for your years of experience. Second, when you're asking for your raise, pick your moment. Budget season is the time to do it. When you're doing your annual review, it is much too late. Put together a 1-page, not a 10-page, outline of your achievements, and then you're stating in clear terms what value you bring to the company. Third, just do it. If you're truly undervalued, then the payoff can be exponential, not just financially, but mentally and emotionally as well. Don't apologize for asking what you're worth. If you come off as tentative and apologetic, then you might as well be saying, I don't value myself, so you shouldn't either. Asking the right way, knowing how to ask is incredibly important. Now is not the time to make your boss feel sorry for you. It's time to make them sorry if they were to lose your value. Tell them your range, come armed with the facts. Money can be an emotional conversation, but it should not be an emotional conversation. It's not an emotional topic. I finally did it and got a 15% raise and a promotion. Woo! Woo! So if I had it, I would still be feeling undervalued. So I hope what I spoke to about today at least would get one of you guys to advocate for yourself if needed. So you never know until you ask. Thank you. Amen. Any questions? Yes, ma'am.
What was the time frame between when you first had the idea to negotiate your salary or ask for more from when you actually did it? How much time between that?
It was probably only a couple of months. I literally read this book, made my 1 page of outline of requirements, and I picked the time to be budget season. So that was about October and November for my company. And I just set up a meeting with my boss and said, I'm here to discuss my compensation and I am undervalued here and I'm going to tell you why. And then he came back 2 days later and it actually did work out. So, yeah. Anything else? Yes?
Question. What is your advice for someone who is changing career paths but wants maybe the same amount of money or more?
That can be really tricky because you need to be able to outline and connect the achievements and experience you have and try to apply them into that new job. So you may not have specifics of what you're doing, but you should just go for it. A lot of folks, I started talking to a lot of people and they would look at a job description and only meet half the requirements. They would just go for it and say they could do it anyways. And don't doubt yourself. Don't think you can do the job 100%.
Perfect. And can I get a LinkedIn referral, please?
Yeah.
I'm not serious.
Well, no. Just send me one, of course.